What is up, guys? It is Zach Cloche. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to build a Vue project from scratch and host it on Netlify. So let's get into that. So the first thing I'm going to do is share my screen and create a new folder. So this is going to be called my project. Doesn't matter the actual name. It's just whatever you want to call your project. Next, I'm going to right click, open that up with VS Code, open up my terminal here, and run the following command. So here we're going to say npm init view at latest and a dot to represent that we want it to output into the current directory that we're inside of. So I'm just going to call this my project. You can call it whatever is appropriate for yours. Going to say yes there to the single page application. Now it's going to say run npm install npm run dev. I'm going to use Yarn because Yarn is just a bit faster. So if you don't have Yarn, you can install it and yeah, you'll be able to build faster like I am right now. Next, you can say yarn dev, and that'll run it. Of course, you can say npm run dev instead of that. So those are the alternatives. Yarn is just a bit faster. So we can open this up, see if it actually works. So yeah, you did it. You created a project with Vite and Vue 3. Already has Vue Router installed and working by default, so that's cool. Next, let's do this. So we know that that's working. Now we'll actually need to use Netlify to host our project. But before we do that, we need to create a GitHub repository. So the way I recommend you do that is first, we're going to initialize our project in Git. So git init like so. We created our new repository here. We're going to just add everything that's here. Git commit -m. And we're just going to say initial commit like so. Now that that's created, so there's an easy way to create a new repo with using GitHub CLI. So we're going to say GitHub CLI in our browser. So just go ahead and search that. You can go to this page and download for Windows and follow all the steps there. And you should have the following commands that I'm about to access. You know if it's working, or let me rephrase that. You know it's working if you're able to say GH in your command line, and that it actually shows you the following. So if I say GH here, it'll show you everything that there is, or like all of the basic commands to get started with this. Now, once you do have GitHub CLI installed, if you haven't already logged in, you can say git gh auth login, I believe is the right command. Yeah, so gh auth login, and that will log you into the GitHub CLI and actually save you some time setting up setting up an authentication part of Git that's really complicated without the GitHub CLI. So run that, and then you'll be able to run the next command. So here I'm going to say gh repo create. Right, so now I'm going to create a new, or push an existing local repository to GitHub. So this would be my project here. Path to local repository by default is the current directory. So I'm going to just say enter. Repository name, sure, like you can call it whatever. Here I'm just using the defaults. Description, I'm going to skip that, make it public. Add a remote, yes, you will want to do this. You can call it origin, so just the default. Push commits from the local branch to origin, yes, you do want to do that. And that should be the last step. Once you have that, you can go ahead and type in gh repo view --web, and it should open up in your browser and show you that your project was created. So this should be your project by now if you followed all the steps that I said before. Next, we can run the following. And actually, at this point, you should go ahead and sign up for Netlify if you have not already. So if you go to netlify.com, you click login, it should bring you to where you can log into the app or sign up for an account. Log in if you already have one. Of course, click the sign up button on the homepage if you have not. And then just create that. And after you sign up for them, you can go to, or type in your browser, Netlify CLI, like so. Go to get started with Netlify CLI and run the following command using Node Package Manager, which you should have installed on your computer if you want to do this. Should have said that at the beginning, but I'm saying it now. So npm install netlify CLI-g, and that will install Netlify CLI onto your computer. So once you have that, the next thing is going to be to run Netlify init like so. Right. So adding local Netlify folder to get_ignore file. What would you like to do? Connect this directory to an existing Netlify site or create and configure a new one. We're going to create a new one. You can use whatever team name you chose when you were signing up for Netlify. So I only have one, so I'm going to say that. Site name, Zach Cloche. Right. I'm going to call it that because that's a fact. So admin URL. Yep. All of that's good. Your build command. Right. So it's actually ours. Oh, wait. I think we can say yarn build. I'm pretty sure it's just yarn build is good enough for this part. Let's try that. Directory to deploy, just press enter because that's going to be the default there. Do you want to create one? Yes. Yep. And now, once we get push, and actually, wait, does it already know to do that? Git status. Update with Netlify settings or Netlify config. So what I just did is I just said git add to make sure that our new changes were pretty much done there. Right. So put your push to your Git repository to trigger new site builds, and then open Netlify admin URL of your site. So what we'll actually do is first git push, and then we're going to run Netlify open :site. And this should show us our site that we just pushed to Netlify. So let's see. Open that up inside of VS Code, and we should see, right. So we already have our app up and running here. And the way that you will know if this works currently with your project, let's say you're not just using the defaults, what you want to try is you want to make sure that your website will work in the production server or in a production server. So what you can do is say yarn build or npm run build, I think, and that'll create a production version of your Vue Vite app. So it creates this dist folder, and to test and see if it works, you can say yarn build like so. And, or sorry, not yarn build, yarn preview like so. Open that up, and if this is working, which currently it is, that means that your website will work in production because this is the basically kind of like a simulation of the production server. So if this works, then your app will work on Netlify. So that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you like the content, subscribe, and that's also bye for now. Oh, also, there is one more thing. I did create a Discord recently, and I am opening it up to the public. Before it was just for my paid students, but I want a way for you guys to connect with me in a way where you can message me either directly or just in the community chat. So I'm going to leave a link to the new Discord group in the description. I'm still figuring out Discord and trying to build a strong community there and figuring out all the ins and outs of how that's going to work. But if you do want a bit more direct access or have a question, you can reach me in the YouTube comments. I will reply, or you can join the Discord and it'll be just a bit easier and probably more fun to talk with you, and you can meet other people in the community. So with that being said, that's all. Talk to you guys later, and bye for now.